My friends, the objective of my presentation is to demonstrate that the elimination of plastic waste that devastates the Earth's environment can only be achieved by adopting two strategies. One, adopting circular economy that seeks to reduce plastic waste to a minimum in the world. The second strategy is to end plastic production in the world by replacing it with alternative products. And the third strategy is to replace the current development model with a sustainable development model. These strategies need to be adopted because plastic waste, together with greenhouse gases, is the greatest villain of the environment on planet Earth. While greenhouse gases is the greatest villain of the environment on planet Earth. While greenhouse gases are changing the planet's climate, plastic waste is increasingly present in the Earth's environment, devastating the soil, subsoil, rivers, and oceans. It's known that plastic can take more than 400 years to decompose. By 2050, there will be more plastic in the oceans than fish. Plastic is responsible for the death of 100,000 marine animals each year. 91% of the plastic used in the world is not recycled. 1 million plastic bottles are purchased every minute, and up to 500 billion disposable plastic bags are used every year. To put an end to the devastating effects of plastic waste on the world environment, it's necessary to adopt circular economy strategies that seek to reduce plastic waste to a minimum and end the production of plastic in the world by replacing it with alternative products. But above all, adopt the model of sustainable development on a planetary scale. The circular economy is based on the concept of transforming plastic waste into inputs for the production of new products. Plastic waste is then returned to the production chain. In addition to the circular economy strategy that seeks to reduce plastic waste to a minimum in the environment. A strategy can be adopted that aims to eliminate plastic production worldwide and replace it with alternative products, objects made from glass, fabrics, rubber, bamboo, cardboard, biodegradable materials, algae, starch, and cyanobacteria can be used in the race for a world without plastic. The devastation caused by plastic waste in soil, underground, rivers, and oceans is evident. All of this is a consequence of the unsustainability of the current model of development of society, which due to the fact that it's responsible for the rapid increase in global temperature, the depletion of the planet's natural resources, the rise in sea levels, and also the devastation of the planet's environment by plastic waste. The facts of life are increasingly showing the need for the paradigm that has guided the development of human society since the first industrial revolution to be profoundly modified. This is why the current model of society must be replaced by a sustainable development model, among other measures. Just as it has been trying to tackle global climate change with the Paris Climate Agreement, COP21, the United Nations is trying to do the same to deal with the devastation caused by plastic waste around the world. The failure to combat climate change is happening because the established goals do not include the commitment to promote changes as the current model of society for one that seeks sustainable development. After several years of negotiations, impasses, timid advances and failures, 195 countries and the European Union produced a global agreement at the COP21 in Paris that defines how humanity will combat global warming in the coming decades. For the first time, all countries in the world committed to reducing greenhouse gas emissions and uniting in a common cause against climate change. However, the attempt to control the average temperature of planet Earth with the Paris Climate Agreement, COP21, has been characterized by its non-compliance. The same could happen with the United Nations attempt to deal with the devastation caused by plastic waste around the world. The lack of convergence between countries around the world in combat climate change is reflected in the failure of some countries to meet the goals established in the Paris Climate Agreement at COP21. It has been proven that in order to avoid climate change, it's not enough to pursue goals such as those established at COP21. It's also necessary to build a new sustainable society from an economic, social, and environmental point of view. Our suggestion to adopt the circular economy strategy that seeks to reduce plastic waste to a minimum and to end the production of plastics in the world and replace it with alternative products will only be successful if a sustainable society is built. In order to deal with both global climate change and the devastation of the planet by plastics, it becomes imperative to implement the Sustainable Development Model. The new society to be built in the world would have to be sustainable from an economic, social, and environmental point of view. The concept of sustainability has become a key element in finding viable solutions to solve the world's biggest problems, based on the thesis that a sustainable society is one that meets the needs of the current generation without diminishing the possibilities of future generations to meet their needs. How to build a sustainable society? It can be said that a society is a group of people who share purposes, tastes, concerns, and customs, and who interact with each other to form a community. A society can also be considered a network of relationship between people who act interdependently. A society will only reach a high level of development when its members, in addition to acting interdependently, share common goals. Unfortunately, in the world we live in, all men and women act interdependently, without, however, sharing common goals in each country and a global scale. The fact that we live in societies governed by individual interests to the detriment of collective interests makes it difficult to build common goals in each country and on a global scale. Global climate change and the devastation of the environment by plastics are likely to be catastrophic, production a true crisis that threatens the survival of humanity. Make it imperative to build a new model of society or a new world order that acts interdependently and rationally, with common objectives in each country and on a planetary scale, without which the survival of human beings and the life on planet Earth would be at risk. The new model of global society based on sustainable development will imply profound changes in the way society develops, so that economic growth is less intensive in the consumption of raw materials and energy and more equitable in the distribution of its results to the population. Above all, a true political and cultural revolution must be carried out throughout the world, so that the current development paradigm is replaced by the paradigm of sustainable development. We must recognize that in the midst of a magnificent diversity of cultures and ways of life, we are one human family and one earth community with a common destiny. We must join forces to create a sustainable global society based on respect for nature, universal human rights, economic justice, and the culture of peace. To achieve these purposes, it's imperative that all of us, the peoples of Earth, declare our responsibility to each other and to all, aim at the continuity of life on the planet and for future generations. My friends, I hope that our presentation was enlightening to demonstrate that the elimination of plastic waste that devastates the Earth's environment can only be achieved by adopting circular economy strategies that seek to reduce plastic waste to a minimum in the world, to end plastic production in the world by replacing it with alternative products, and replace the current development model with a sustainable development model. Receive my brotherly rug.